Primetime.
Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime Primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
Oh, man. Everyone's shocked that 4 number ones made it to the Final Four. How shocking is that? Okay, the best of each region actually played that way and made it all the way through. We're going to talk March Madness Mondays in March with Mark. We'll talk with our man, the basketball analyst, Mark Wise, coming up in about 15, 20 minutes. But welcome in. We want to talk to y'all and kind of get an idea of what you think coming out of the weekend, who you like. Unbelievable games in half of them. And then the other half were blowouts. So we went from 16-8 down to the Final Four from Thursday last week into last night's action. And some of them just overwhelmed the opponent. So we will get into that. Florida, meanwhile, a struggle right to the end against Texas Tech. They were able to eliminate the Red Raiders and Todd Golden and the Florida Gators, cutting down the nets in the West region and making it back to the Final Four, first time since 2014. A Mokamba Beer Company Monday, fellas. We are ready to rock and roll. And honestly, Leon, coming out of this, there was great drama, but there were also just a bunch of blowouts, man.
Well, as far as Florida goes, listen, I was saying this earlier, they're teetering around on the tightrope, but I appreciate the drama that they provide.
Yeah.
Because I find myself in a situation where I'm saying, is this going to happen? Are they going to lose it? Are they going to finally lose it? And then they come back and they shoot their way back in the game and they take over the game and win it. So I love the drama that they provide.
Four 3-pointers from Alk and from Clayton were massive.
Well, where do you attribute their slow starts from?
Honestly, I feel like
clearly, if you watch the game towards the very end, y'all have the superior talent on both sides as far as the scoring and the defending. But y'all just keep teams in the game where it should be blowouts.
I think this is kind of Florida, not Florida in a nutshell, Matt, because they definitely they went on that dominant stretch down.
I think it's Florida in the tournament is what it is. That's how they played in the tournament.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah,
but
they allowed UConn to stay in the game. They allowed Maryland to stay in the game, and they allowed Texas Tech to stay in the game.
And they came into the Sweet 16 not covering either the first couple of point spreads, and they basically followed that theme the rest of the way. And missing free throws and slow starts, you saw that. Well, then all of a sudden, it looked like they had lost this one. This one was even further down the tracks than the one against UConn, and they were able to pull themselves out of this one. And that does say something about what they were able to do.
Sure, and I also think if you're a Florida fan, you look at this thing, you're thinking, well, we haven't played our best game yet. We haven't played as well as we played in the SEC tournament. If the team that played in the SEC tournament plays in this Final Four, they can beat Duke.
Yeah.
That team can beat Duke. So I don't know if that team will show up. We'll see. But that team's long enough and can deflect shots and alter shots that they can beat Duke.
Yeah. So just a little roll call here. Who fears you the most? Who do you fear the most? Who do you think is going to cut down the nets? And we'll obviously extend this conversation. But based on what you saw from last Thursday to last night,
who I think is going to cut down the nets?
Yeah.
And did you see what Houston did to Tennessee?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. I want to hear.
That was a dismantling. On both sides. It's scoring, defense, everything. I'm going by the eye test.
Yeah.
When I watched Houston, what they did to Tennessee, every statistical area they dominated. I would say Houston, but
okay.
I would say Houston.
I love what you said because I thought it might be Duke, but I was going down the same road you're going down because the sharpshooter, and he's just one of them, but Emmanuel Sharp and a handful of other guys, they were able to avoid foul trouble. They obviously stressed the hell out of you defensively. They just basically keep you away from the rim and make you work your tail off for any points. Tennessee, though, just as good defensively, but not as good offensively. So who scares you the most, Matt?
I think Duke does. I understand what Leon was saying. Tennessee had multiple open looks in that game. And by open, I mean open looks, good shots, and missed them.
Yeah.
They just missed them. So, you hit 4 or 5 of those shots, 3 or 4 of those shots. You hit 4 of those shots, that's 12 points. It's a different game. I know they lost by 19, but it's that game got away in the last few minutes.
Honestly, they got smoked in the but
they did. Okay. But my point is they were missing shots.
Okay,
There were shots were there to be made, and a run was there to be had, and they kept missing shots.
But would you agree the way 40 minutes of basketball unfolded, it was always at arm's length. Houston had Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely.
In other words,
no doubt.
They hardly ever pushed Houston to where they were stressed.
They got it to 9.
Yeah.
There was a spot there where they got it to 9 in the second half, and they had 2 straight defensive stops and missed 2 threes each time they got a stop.
It's like
open threes.
It's like Michigan State getting it to 7 or whatever it was at one point. And this was with, I like to call him Johnny from Alabama, but Janai, when he was in the locker room and he was hurt, they were able to close the gap a little bit. But every single one of these games, well, I should say the blowouts, you never ever felt like that other team was going to claw their way back, except for Florida against Texas Tech. When you think about it, that was it.
Well, that's what Florida have been doing all tournament long. They get themselves in these predicaments, and then they shoot their way out of it towards the end. So I mean,
either or.
I was just, I was almost when Texas Tech was up 7, I was like. I said, and it was getting down to the crunch time, whatever. And I said, you know what? I was getting a little happy. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little glee in my voice. There was a little smile on my face. But then
you weren't texting, which is weird. I thought you would start texting.
No, I didn't start texting. But I just say, you know what? This is how it happens. This is how the tournament's been for Florida. They keep teams in, and then towards the end, they shoot their way out of it.
Yeah.
And as advertised, they did the same thing they did the last couple of weeks.
They did need a couple of takeover guys to be assertive.
Yeah, Clayton's a beast.
And Houck is, honestly, he's been as tremendous and a spark plug type of guy. And we talked about it last week. Him coming off the bench and Aberdeen coming off the bench, both very important because they understand what they're doing. Michigan State, I believe the story was told over the weekend that they don't introduce their starting 5 because they believe they've got 6.
Right.
And so that they come out as a group. In Florida, in many of the same respects, at the very least with Houck, it's a starting 6. But they have got to come out cleaner for them to have any chance. Auburn, once again, is starting to look like the Auburn of old. And you saw, I feel like when Broome was able to come back, was able to make a handful of plays, and then you can go down the line with the other guys. Denver Jones struggled to begin with in the first half of the game, but then he started to come back. Anyway, all these teams right now, the 4 number ones, there's chinks in a few spots for maybe Florida, certainly maybe 1 or 2 for Auburn, less for Houston, certainly less for Duke. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I look at Auburn and they're very streaky, very streaky shooting the ball. Houston is very streaky shooting the ball. Houston shot the ball really well against Tennessee in that game. It's another reason why they won that game, blowing them out, going away. Duke has been the most consistent team in the tournament. I mean, you got 4 NBA guys in that team. So I look at that. Duke is your favorite. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
Florida's going to need to play its best game to beat them. I think Florida will figure out how to get by Auburn. But I'm with Leon. I think Houston is going to give Duke problems. If Duke doesn't shoot the ball well, like if
That's
they
a harassing bunch.
Yeah, if they shoot the ball poorly or even average and Houston gets in their head a little bit, that could absolutely be last second game.
Search, did you hear what Matt said? He just put him in the championship game. Did you hear that?
Who's that? You put in,
I didn't put Houston. I'm saying if
Florida championship game.
Oh yeah, I think Florida will figure out Auburn.
Yeah. Well, in my bracket,
but Duke's going to be a different story.
Well, in my bracket, I've got Florida and Houston in the championship game. That's my bracket.
So you got getting the dub.
I got them getting the dub against Duke. I don't know why.
No, who do you have getting the whole dub, the big dub?
Oh, well.
Say it.
Just say it, man.
Say it.
Oh, those reptiles in Gainesville.
See, I love it. Your fandom's coming out.
I love orange and blue to the death.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's welcome JJ back on that one. JJ, real quick, because we're going to talk with Mark Wise and we're going to break it down with him where he takes it a little. He adds analysis to what we have to say.
Right. We basically just Sam Kinison into that thing.
Say it. But you were off the weekend for the wedding.
I was at a wedding, which, by the way,
is where your bro's
being in
at.
the mid-30s and having friends my age, and like now everyone's getting married.
Yeah.
I have another one in like a month.
So
it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It was fun, but so my buddy who has this $16,000 potential winning bet if the Gators win, who's not hedging any games, by the way, was sitting at the same table I was at the party after the ceremony during the game. So everyone's watching on their phones, and when they're down 10, this guy, man, he looked like he his whole family was just killed.
Yeah.
And then I see him like 5 minutes later. He's in the line at the bar at this point.
Yeah.
And he is like
Sensible.
so happy and acts like never in doubt. I knew my boys would come through. And it was just like, wow, man, what a range of emotions. I was able to watch like the last few minutes. And that, like, I wouldn't even call it a step back three.
No.
He
ran
was
to the
running to the three-point line, turned around without looking, and jacks the three up. It was amazing shot, man.
It was the
What a
opposite.
great
That was
player.
YMCA shots, what that was.
But it
man.
was the opposite of a quarterback draw. Okay, quarterback draw, draws back. He sees the open field. He just takes off. Clayton's inside. He's in the paint. He's like, my gosh, they're all there. He ran back. It was a reverse quarterback draw. He's let me just get to the back of the line.
You know those dudes that get on the heaters at the Y and then and they end up shooting shots like that? That's exactly what that was.
It was awesome.
100%.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, you guys jump in, 641-1010. Hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can jump in the YouTube chat. We would love to hear from you, especially coming out of the weekend. Who do you like? 4 number ones. It's not like you're going to be picking chalk because they're all chalk. But let us know what you think. Let's say hello to Mark Wise coming up. A Mokama Beer Company Monday. They are open every single day. Delicious coffee 7 days a week. The barista is ready to take care of you. But then also delicious craft creations Tuesday through Sunday. You can enjoy Mokama on South 8th Street in Fernandina, also the Wildlight location, or pick some up at Total or ABC. Let's say hello to Mark Wise next.
Play-by-play just makes everyday life better.
I did not see this one coming.
Get the most play-by-play on 1010XL, Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
Florida pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in tournament history on Saturday. After being down 10 points with 6:18 left, they went on to make a miraculous run, led by Walter Clayton Jr. and Thomas Houck, to punch their ticket to the Final Four for the first time in over a decade. The Gators will take on Auburn this Saturday in the Final Four at 6:09 with 1010 coverage, starting on both AM and FM at 5:30.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball opens this week at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark. Come early tomorrow for the opening day street carnival and stick around for post-game fireworks, all presented by Roland Reach Plumbing. Don't miss Thirsty Thursday and fireworks Friday and Saturday. Baseball all weekend. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Man, don't let your yard be torn up by that heavy aeration machine this spring. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to learn more about our granular aeration. Broadcast throughout the tree and shrubs to break up that compacted soil. Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
I'm Max Fink, and I'll bring you the Gator Report several times weekly to keep you connected to Gainesville.
The Gator Report, put together by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators! Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE NeoGraft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
When you hear Florida Gators baseball on 1010XL, it's brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators, and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's exclusive 31-day spring event. Experience superior craftsmanship and timeless design with buy one, get one 40% off custom replacement windows and patio doors. Enjoy the ease of zero down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires March 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. If you're like me, as soon as you click yes to a subscription, you feel stuck. Starting Awaken 180 was the complete opposite because it's not a subscription, no fine print. Pay as you go, lose weight as you go. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Spring is in the air. Time to wake up your lawn with Heroes Lawn Care. Say goodbye to pesky mosquitoes with their organic and spray treatments. Perfect for outdoor fun. Keep your lawn clean and fresh with their pet waste removal for homes and businesses. Heroes Lawn Care takes care of it all. From mowing, edging, fertilizer, to irrigation, and much more. Visit heroeslawncare.com.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Inside Clayton. Well, they stopped Clayton in the paint on the cut.
And he just dribbles it out.
He dribbles it out, and they were late getting to him.
Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
Yep, reverse quarterback draw. That's basically what it was. Give me the line, turn, square up, shoot, net. Huge run for Florida with 4 threes, and that put him back on top against Texas Tech. Mondays in March with Mark, our man Mark Wise. He is all things college hoops, and he's been covering it all. You hear him on the family of networks on ESPN throughout the season. Mark, how are you, man?
I'm doing great after this heavyweight battle that we have coming up this Saturday. Who needs Cinderella?
It is the truth, because we said, and I think you were part of the conversation, NIL has killed Cinderella, but at the same time, here's where I found myself, Mark, disagree or agree, but I said, hey, the death of Cinderella means from Sweet 16 on, we're going to have close games. Well, guess what? We did not. Half of them were blowouts.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at Duke as Duke is reminding me of UConn last year, of Villanova in their second run, the DiVincenzo crowd that just kind of manhandled the NCAA tournament. They have that kind of feel. Everybody's all concerned about Duke not being pressed in a tight game. Well, who cares if you don't get pressed in a tight game? So right now, I would have to think they would be looked at as the favorite, but you could make a case for any of these 4 cutting down the nets. I know Ken Pom has already put a thing out that since he's been doing his statistical analysis in 1990, 96 and 97. These 4 teams, 4 of the 10 best since that time frame. So when I say heavyweight, that's not an exaggeration.
Wow. Hey, Mark, what do you attribute to Florida's slow starts in games and then their ability to rally towards the end? What is that attributed to?
Well, I don't know so much as a slow start. I get the point in reference, but they were up 3 at half, and I didn't think it played particularly well. They have been wearing down teams, late. I don't think there's any question about that. I made the analogy that they're like a running team with great skill in the halfback sets and an offensive line that eventually wears you out. You know, the score at half 13-10, and they've rushed for 40 yards, and the final is 42-17, and they've rushed for 190 in the second half. That's kind of the way they've been beating teams. That was not the case with Texas Tech. Texas Tech for 17 minutes in the second half, I thought was the better team. I thought they did something to Florida that very few teams have done this year, and that's they own the middle third of the floor with their offense. Whether the pick and roll, the pick and pop, the isolation with Williams, everything was designed to get back to the middle of the floor, and they were marvelous at it. The 2 big missed free throws, I know you guys have touched on it. And then, yes, Walter Clayton, that shot was stupid, just stupid good. But that shot is not set up if it was not for Hout's first 2 that kind of got him back within range. I thought he was the difference in the game.
Mark, I'm sure they're going to be seeing that pick and pop, not only from Auburn, but if they beat Auburn, absolutely from Duke. I guess if you're a Florida fan, you have to look at this like we haven't played a clean game yet. If they play a clean game, what's their ceiling?
Well, it's obviously high, but guess what? The other teams are pretty good at this level too. It's more difficult to play at your high end, unless, of course, you're BYU and you act like you have never seen Alabama play before. That, by the way, speaking of that game, have any of you ever heard of plus 57 in 3-point differential?
No. Mark, they were literally letting them take threes. They were letting them take threes.
They were in trouble when Sears got some early looks, because everybody knows in the SEC you can't play that way. You cannot play that way against Alabama, especially at the start. And I think in the first 2 minutes he had like 3 clean looks, and I went, they're in for a long day.
And they said, Mark, if they had not taken any 2s, they still would have beaten them based on free throws and 3s, which is just insane. Now, I'll give Matt Hayes credit, Mark, because he said the difference between BYU's defense and Duke's defense quite different, which obviously Mark Sears suffered from that.
Yeah, no question about it. I keep coming back to this. People don't have any idea how big Duke is. No starter. Then nobody in the rotation less than 6'6", so they have positional size all over the place. I'm going to again repeat what I said last week. Malawatch is a problem. You are so consumed with Flag and Knipple and Proctor making threes. Malawatch down in that high rent district on both ends of the floor, block to block, he's a problem, because if Houston doesn't make threes, they can't win.
Okay.
Because one of the things that Houston does so well is go get a high percentage of their misses. This is by far Kelvin Sampson's best shooting team, by far. Number 1 3-point shooting team in the country. They just don't shoot a whole lot of them because of the style and pace that they play. But if they don't make 10 or more threes, they have no chance. There will be no second chance opportunities against Duke.
Now, Mark, with these last 4 teams, these 4 heavyweights battling in the Final Four right now today, before we even get to the tournament, who would be your MVP?
Wow. In my view, it's the same as I look at Ken Palm's most outstanding player. The top 3 guys listed on his statistical analysis is Flag, Broom, and Clayton. How can you differentiate between those 3? None of the 3 teams would be there without those players. Duke would probably be the biggest because they have the biggest, deepest reservoir of talent. But they're not here without Flag, let's be honest. For where Florida is right now, it would have to be Walter Clayton in the way he's delivered in crunch time. he's playing, man, at a different level. I mean, the shots that he is making when the games are on the line, either the quick off the bounce or that, what did Joe call it? The halfback runaway from the
quarterback
line?
draw. Yeah,
yeah, quarterback draw. I mean, that play was stupid.
I look at them right now, Mark, and I really think that Condon needs to assert himself a little more right now. He has played. I don't want to say soft, because soft's not a good word, but he certainly hasn't been aggressive the last two games.
I'm not sure he's completely healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, to retweak the same ankle as he did in February, I mean, that wasn't a good sign. But as I will say this, has slipped a little bit. I think one of the unsung heroes for Florida is Micah Hanlog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think he was really good the other day. So as long as the numbers between Condon and Hanlogan are the same, I don't think it matters.
All right, so let's make an argument. We got a couple more minutes with our man Mark Wise. Mondays in March with Mark as we're marching towards the championship. So I agree with what you said about Houston v. Duke. Let's just at least paint a scenario of what you think it would take Bruce Pearl and all of them ultimately to come out on top against the Gators.
Well, they're going to have to defend the three ball a whole lot better than they did in that game at Auburn, because Florida made 13 in that game. They had 6 different players make 3-point shots in that game. Now, Klobuchar went 3 for 3. I don't think he's going to play hardly at all, much less 17 minutes. But remember, Elijah Martin didn't play in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the other part of the equation for Auburn is they can't have Baker Mazzaro, Denver Jones both go south on the same day. I think combined they had I want to say 8 points between them in the game. So Denver Jones is not going to play that way again. He's a different. That's the anomaly there. Miles Kelly had a great game for Florida, and he's been kind of reduced to a smaller role because of how good Denver Jones and especially Pettiford has been. But again, if I'm Bruce Pearl, if I'm the staff at Auburn, it all starts at the 3-point line. They must guard Florida better.
Hey, Mark, before we let you go, Hawk and Condon, do they stay or they leave?
Oh my gosh, you're already worried about next year.
I'm just asking because Hawks played really well in this tournament.
It's fair to ask because the portal is wide open right now, unfortunately.
I think it was pretty obvious Todd Golden was making his pitch, wasn't he? When he said he's going to start for us next year. Man, I'm going to say 80-20, they're back.
Mm-hmm. And I mean the NBA. I don't mean to another team.
Very right. No, that's what I'm referring as well. Yeah, no, I think they both should go through the process. I'm for everybody going through the process. Are you telling me Will Richard is not a better player because he went through the process?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm for everybody going through the process.
Very much.
But
so.
I don't see their name. I mean, Condon was a late first round a month ago. I haven't seen his name there lately. Houck, it would be just kind of the opposite. His stock is continuing to rise. He keeps making threes. He may not be back.
All right. So your winners on Saturday that make it to the championship game are? I'm
not going to change. This is by the way, the one and only bracket that I did.
Mm-hmm.
I have Auburn and I have Florida and Duke in the final.
Okay, Florida.
I'm not changing.
And then, do you feel like it looks like it's an unstoppable train locomotive for Duke, or Florida obviously can go toe to toe with them?
Well, again, if I go with my 3-point theory, that I think you must have a 3-point presence, a great 3-point presence.
Yeah.
I think Auburn and Florida both, because the number of threes they will shoot, is a better matchup against Duke than Houston is.
Yeah.
I just don't. Houston might shoot 40%, but 8 for 20 won't get it done.
Right, it's the volume.
I'm telling you, it's got to be 10 or more.
Yeah, and Florida struggled in that department for a long time against Texas Tech before they kind of got it going late. Hey, listen, great stuff as always. Are you going to San Antonio?
I am not going. I finished my last game was the third round of the NIT, and right now I am going to be like everybody else. I'm going to be a complete fan.
All right, we love it. I love it. Hopefully you'll be back with us on Monday to break it down with the championship game, and we'll see.
Enjoy the games, everybody.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, Mark Wise, good stuff as always, but he likes what he likes, but certain teams have got to be able to come through. Florida has to start hitting threes earlier in the game. So we'll react to that. Let's get to the NFL owners' meetings as well, because Liam Cohen talking down there in Palm Beach. So we'll get an idea of what he's thinking about his Jacksonville Jaguars. We are now counting it down, ladies and gentlemen, closing in on the draft. Before you know it, it will be here. We've got the 1010XL draft guide to tell you all about that coming up. A Mokama Beer Company Monday.
Some people search a lifetime and never find it.
I found it.
You found it.
I found it! Guys! I found
1010XL.
Hey Jacksonville, Don from Taco Lou here. Spring has sprung, the temps are rising, and the summer is on the way. In our world, that can only mean one thing. Cinco is coming. Yes, today everyone gets their taco fix and margarita fix. It could possibly be the best Monday of the year this year. If you're sitting at your desk on a Monday thinking no tacos for me, well, think again. We wouldn't let a big day like Cinco de Mayo slip by just because it's a Monday. Skip work or get the day off. But come and celebrate with us at Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach. Maybe take Tuesday off. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Mia here, and let me tell you about one of our area's best resorts, the Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa. The Sawgrass Marriott is not only a great destination for a vacation, but it is also a great destination for dining on the Florida's first coast. 1912 Ocean Bar and Rooftop is now open on Ponte Vedra Boulevard, featuring Ponte Vedra's only oceanfront rooftop bar and lounge. Serving finely crafted cocktails and delectable eats, it's open daily from 4 to 10 with complimentary valet parking.
Your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, often no appraisals. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. Get the money you need for anything at 904-999-1508 or just go to LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On March 31st, 1961, Boston Bruins defenseman Bobby Orr scores his 3rd career hat trick, becoming the first player in NHL history to score 100 points for 4 straight seasons.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, maybe even your kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Don't let divorce take more than it has to.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local authorized technology partner and home to Xerox copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
Hey folks, Nick here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts, sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. 1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
You'll definitely enjoy the tap room, an old 50s car dealership. You can enjoy that location on South 8th as you enter the historic part of Fernandina, or the Wildlight location, or just when you're out and about, look for a little Mokama on tap. You will definitely enjoy it. Now, we've been talking March Madness. We got to get back to the odds from Hard Rock Bet as far as what they're saying about the Gators, Blue Devils, Cougs, and Tigers. But NFL owners meetings going on right now down in South Florida. And there's a lot of chatter about the tush push, the hurt spurt, outlawing it, and all that kind of stuff. But Liam Cohen was down there in front of the assembled media around him, and he's got a ton of quotes, which we'll try and at least get through a handful of them. But the first couple of ones that are at least interesting and kind of 30,000-foot view kind of deal. He was asked a question about he and James Gladstone spending a lot of time together, collaborating, kind of getting an idea of what they can do together.
Yeah, a lot of time. We've spent almost every waking minute together throughout the last few weeks, honestly. It's really just been us together with the help of some others as well that have been part of this process. But it's so easy to talk to him. I mean, he breaks things down to such an elite level of simplicity for me because he's a lot smarter than I am. And so he's able to break down the draft, understand it as well as anybody I've heard have these conversations. We've got guys in buckets of where we're trying to look for them, and he's been able to map things out for me to be able to understand at a high level.
Well, I mean that's a gimme, to be quite frank.
Have you ever said I've spent every waking moment with Matt or anything like that?
Never,
okay,
never.
Right, just check.
No.
All right, go ahead.
And the way they communicate together, it did sound very like bromancy.
It does.
It was a lot of intimacy.
Hallmark. Yeah,
involved there.
Yeah,
but I mean, listen, you want the.
You don't think it was like that with Doug and Trent?
I doubt it. No, absolutely not.
Every waking moment. Yeah, go ahead.
Every waking moment.
Hey, you want to come over and have some milk?
Watch some film with me tonight.
Yeah.
No, but listen, those two guys are going to have a clear vision of what they want this team to look like. You know, and it starts with the roster, the draft, free agency, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's how you build culture. You know, you want to be a tough physical team. You want to be a team that's going to be. Is going to be accountable, not make mistakes, all that kind of stuff. So you've got to get the right personnel in here, get the right coaching staff in here to develop the talent so it can look the way that you want it to look.
Yeah, I think it's good that they like each other.
Yeah.
At least from all we can tell, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure,
and have been in another building together.
And I'm sure Liam had a lot to do with the fact that Gladstone was hired as the GM.
I agree.
Yeah. So it's not like if, us three suddenly were put in a position of power with the Jags.
Yeah.
We'd be spending every waking moment with each other as well. I mean, this is where they are right now. These two, their job is to change the dynamic of a failed franchise. That's no other way to look at it. This is a failed franchise,
right? And
from the jump.
And we're having fun, but it is true. You got to work your tail off to rescue.
The only way you can do that, you got to change the personnel.
Yeah,
you got to get rid of the dead weight. You got to bring in some,
and the belief,
and the psyche. Absolutely, that's where it starts first. The mindset.
Yeah,
I mean, this team for so long has had a negative mindset because of their play. You've got to bring the personnel, build the culture up here, start winning some games, and having this team believe in itself again.
I kind of insulted you.
What, man?
Post 2003-4-ish failed franchise.
Yeah.
I kind of insulted you, bro. I didn't mean to.
Listen,
the most successful part of this franchise.
Yeah, listen, when people ask me, did I play for the Jaguars, always a disclaimer. I would say when we were good. That's what I always tell people.
It's a good way to answer it.
What's
All right,
that
here's
movie
another
when we
one.
were soldiers?
And this is what you want. You want them to bring it back to where it was, where it's recognizably good instead of recognizably bad. You want to compete and contend. These are the things that need to just roll off the tongue for Jaguar fans. All right, so he was asked, how can you build trust with Trevor Lawrence using the principles that he used to build trust with Baker? Because there's no question, the last couple of years, and you could give Dave Canales credit 2 years ago, but definitely Liam Cohen credit this past year for what Baker became.
Yeah, I think just being able to have honest conversations. Like, we had some real hard, at times, honest conversations that allowed us to, in times of crisis, be okay, right? In times of adversity, have real fluid conversations, because it gets heated. You know, Bakes yelled at me. I was okay with that. You know, we had a good conversation, we moved on, but you know, every relationship's different, and I think that's what's important is you learn something from Matthew Stafford, from Jared Goff, from all these guys in Baker to be able to take for these relationships moving forward.
Yeah, that's just so massive to be able. And like I said, I never thought I would say, hey, Trevor, take a peek at what Baker's been doing, because they're 2 number 1 overall picks. One of them looked, as was described, generational. The other one looked like, that's a bold move. On who was it? John. Well, I'm drawing a blank on the dude that was in charge of Cleveland when Baker Mayfield moved to the top. Anyway, it wasn't a slam dunk number 1, and then Baker on his 4th or 5th team was able to turn his career around, and now Trevor does probably need to take a little bit of a look.
Well, I think Trevor needs to start hearing some hard truths. Is what he needs to start hearing.
Yeah, which
just
Baker,
like Liam Cohen just said.
Yeah, Baker probably had some of those conversations with himself.
Of course. Yes, I know. Look. And Leon talks about this all the time, you got to look in the mirror and say, I'm the problem. If Trevor's being genuine with himself, he's got to think, all right, they haven't helped me, but the reality is I haven't helped myself either. So there's some hard truths in there, and hopefully those are the conversations that not only Liam Cohen's having with him, but that James Gladstone's having with him too.
Yeah,
like we're going to do everything we can to put pieces around you to make you successful, but you have to start playing better.
Oh, yeah.
68 turnovers in 60 career games, not cutting in the NFL.
No. Heck no. All right, so let's get to 18 because this is staying on the Trevor train, and then we will get to the decision that they made to let go of Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. But this was on particularly building that relationship with 16.
We had some really good conversations, you know, and not being able to work with them quite yet. But, man, we went out to dinner a few times, and I saw the vision, talked to a guy that I know right off the bat is physically and mentally tough. Like, I believe that about him. And so that's how I'm excited to work with him about it. He's open. He just wants to play at the highest level as he can. He wants to accept as much coaching, wants to be coached hard, and he wants to do well. So those are the great conversations that he's open, he wants to work, and he's been willing to work. Really excited about those going forward.
Yeah, I mean, you want that from Trevor. Trevor knows he hasn't played well the last couple of years. Trevor also knows he hasn't had a lot of help the last couple of years as well. But if you want to be a great player, you want to be coached well. You want to be able to look in the mirror and say to yourself, I'm not getting it done. You know when you play good and play. No one has to tell you. The media, none of the people have to tell you. When you're a player and you're into this game and you're in depth and you're involved and you're entrenched, you know when you're not playing well. And Trevor, he's got to play better, and he's got to stay healthy. He's got to eliminate the turnovers, and he's got to be – listen, I like the fact that Liam Cohen's saying that he's going to be straightforward and direct with him. When you're not playing well, tell him – and I'm not just talking about in the film room after the game. I'm talking about during the game. Because there's going to be situations during the game with Trevor. If Trevor's not playing well, you not sit him aside. Hey, listen, you can't throw that pass.
Yeah.
You got to see that. You got to see that thing. You got to see that coverage. You got to see all that kind of stuff. Those type of things have to be said during the game so Trevor can take it in and then go out there and execute.
Who picks up the bill at dinner, by the way? When Trevor goes to eat with Liam.
The Jags do.
Yeah, the Jags do.
Neither one of those two. The Jags do. That's
they
business.
just dropped the Jags.
Yeah, of course they do.
Bro,
That's
they
a
write
business
that off,
expense,
bro.
man.
You write it. You're going to
like
off.
Tony D's.
But just to play off of JJ, like who's reaching in and trying to pull that
you would,
Liam is because he's got the Jags card.
Okay, right.
Yeah, he has the Jags card.
So
you would think the
he's like, this one's on Shad.
Bro, let me just say this. I don't want to out your sources because we all know about your sources, okay?
He's an insider.
But part of the problem, and check me if I'm wrong here, that your source said was he being Trevor, wasn't so good at taking hard coaching.
Yes, that is correct. Correct. Sources say.
Mm-hmm. Well, all of that needs to have that dramatic turn to the positive, where Trevor's like, whatever it takes, I got to make myself better. I'm going to marry up with your philosophies and what you're trying to teach me, but I got to be better. I got to be more accountable to myself, and I think that can happen. All right, so here's the other. We got plenty of these to get
don't
to.
you, when you sign a $275 million contract, don't you just think, all right, I got to be coachable?
Well, yeah.
Isn't that kind of like part of the contract?
Well, but just going back.
Be coachable.
But going
Get
back.
$275 million.
But I think he thinks he's coachable. Are you kidding me? They all think they've worked as hard as they possibly can. They're as coachable as they possibly can be. They've given more than the rest.
There's no chance he thinks that. No chance.
Yes, there is.
Well, then why do his numbers show 68 turnovers in 60 games?
Because he's now having to tell himself he's. Are you telling me that he was resigned to being lazy and
No. But I think he knows he's not putting the effort out he should put out.
Well, most of the time during the game with a player, he really doesn't know. Because a player during the game, I'm just going to tell you from my psyche, a player during the game when he's struggling, he doesn't like to be told that he's struggling. He just he wants to find a way to fight his way out of it.
Sure, I totally get that.
I'm just because if I'm not playing well and the coach come on there and is giving me fire and brimstone, I don't want to hear that.
Right.
I say, I know I'm not playing well. Let me fight through this and play better.
Right.
Hearing it from your mouth does not help me.
What was the worst game you played in your career?
My worst game, oh my God, worst game I ever played in my career, my first year starting with the Steelers, we played the Houston Oilers. And it was a Sunday night game, primetime, and I got worked. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I gave up 3 sacks in the game to William.
Damn.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, exactly.
To William Fuller. All right.
Wow.
Bill Cowart pulled me.
Good player, William Fuller.
William Fuller pulled me. Bill Cowart pulled me for a series. There's nothing more embarrassing as a starter when the coach pulls you. He pulled me and sat me down because I was struggling. I was reeling.
Right.
And it was on TV primetime, so I knew that everybody was going to be calling me serious. You got your so I was upset.
Right.
Well, when he put me back in the game, I settled in or whatever, but I struggled. I'm not going to lie.
Now,
all right, so the next morning on Monday.
Yeah, I had to watch the
film.
When
you woke up Monday morning, did you have a come-to-Jesus moment with yourself?
Of course I did. I knew I had to play better.
Thank you.
I had to play better. And
but
no, what? I had to come
you're missing my point.
I had to come to Jesus after the film session because I got tore into.
Right. You're missing my point. Leon didn't go into that game thinking, I haven't done nearly enough. He thought he had done enough. And what I'm saying is...
You're thinking your stuff don't stink. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you got to approach that. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. You got to think you're the baddest man on the planet when you walk on that field.
Yeah.
Until you get served some...
little humble pie.
Yeah, you get served, that humble pie.
So Trevor has to have that hard conversation with himself where he's basically saying, whatever I think I'm giving, I got to give more. And so I just believe that at this point... You looked at a confident guy that says some of the same standard things coming out of every loss. We got to get better. We got to correct the mistakes. I can't do this. I can't do that. But yet those types of things still happened. He knew there was bad around him, but he also contributed to the bad. And so I do believe there's going to be a marrying up of philosophies where he's saying, you know what, I got to own more of this, and I need this group of coaches collectively to help me, make me better.
Here's the bottom line. He is way too talented to have 68 turnovers in 60 games. Mm-hmm. Way too talented for that. Like
but he's responsible for it.
There's no doubt he is. There's no doubt he is. I'm just saying he has the potential to be an elite player in this league. There's no way he should be playing like he's playing the first 4 years. No way.
Well, you can't get away from it though.
No, but I mean, there's a multitude of factors, but at some point he's got to say, I got to be better no matter what. Right. It doesn't matter about the other factors.
I mean, honestly, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is that it's his tough conversation with himself where he says, you know what, I know, and he did this coming into training camp last year. I know I've got to clean up the mistakes. You still have got to somehow, some way, someone's got to coach some bad habits out of him, him individually, and then the coaching staff.
Well, I mean, Trevor's got to elevate his play to the point where he's the guys around him. He can tell them when they're not playing well, because if he's not playing well, then we don't want to hear it. Because Trevor needs to play to a certain level to where he can tell the offensive line, man. Hey, man, like what Troy Aikman did.
Yeah.
Call his offensive line. Now, Troy Aikman's got 3 rings to his credit. But I'm just saying, you got to be able to call out the O-line when they're not playing well, call out the wide receiver when they're dropping passes or not getting releases or getting separation, all that kind of stuff, running back, all that kind of stuff. But only way he's going to be able to do that is that he's got to play a lot better so he can demand they play better when he's playing well.
Exactly. All right, JJ, number 23. Let's just see if this is a little different or a little add-on from what Liam Cohen said a minute ago. This is at the owners' meetings down in Palm Beach, but what's the mindset, according to the coach, of Trevor going into 2025? That, because honestly, if he's starting to try and discover that, he said they've already been able to get together but not work together. So that question was asked, what's the mindset of 16?
Yeah, I think pretty mellow in a good way, though. Like, you feel a sense of urgency from him without it sounding like a panic. You know, I mean, he knows, he's confident, man. He loves to play. He doesn't want to be hurt. He doesn't want to be not in the game. Like, that means a lot to him. And so when you start there and that's the floor of the conversations, man, you feel so good about where it's going to go because it's honest. You can feel it from him. So he's hungry, though. I would say that for sure. He's putting in time right now on his own without any sort of, hey, he's doing it on his own, maybe twice a day right now, doing stuff to help him get better. I think the fans should know, like, that's this guy's work ethic. That's the way he does things. How is his stuff right now? Yeah, man, he's getting better. He's throwing a little bit, and you know, he'll be able to get going in the spring and be able to throw a little bit more, but, man, he's getting better and better each day.
He ended the soundbite better than he started it.
The last word I want to associate with my quarterback is mellow.
Yeah, right.
Last word.
Right. No, hungry.
Sounded a little Aaron Rodgers-ish.
Yeah.
It did sound a little Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. All right. So we'll use that as the backdrop to say hello to the quarterback whisperer coming up here in just a second. Ask him if he's mellow. We'll do all that coming up. Mocama Beer Company Monday. It is XL Primetime. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you come in to YouTube and you pick up XL Primetime, you can go back and watch the entire show. Real easy to do. Just make sure you check 1010XL on YouTube.
Now, 1010XL takes you inside the program director's office with Dan and Jeff.
You trade paint one more time, you so much as touch. I'm going to black flag the two of you.
Mornings.
I'm not going to take that personally.
On 1010XL.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Plumbing problem? AC not blowing cool? Septic tank backing up? No need to call 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. At Duck Duck Rooter, we do it all. Plumbing, septic, and air conditioning with expert technicians in each department. One company, one call, one easy bill. No hassle, no runaround, just fast professional service from highly skilled techs who know their stuff. Need help? Call 904-862-6769 today and let Duck Duck Rooter handle it all. DuckDuckRooter.com.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Share a cup of coffee and range balls with Dan, Jeff, and PGA pros. Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Sounds like a lot of club for this young man.
Brunch with the tour.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation, 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
ET here, and it's time for the Taste of Golf at TPC Sawgrass April 23rd. Join me for fine cuisine from chefs from the top golf clubs in our area. Craft cocktails, games, and unique auction items will be present. This is one of the most impactful charitable events in our area. Come network with a sophisticated audience who's passionate about golf and its values, while impacting the youth in our community. All proceeds benefit First Tee, North Florida. For tickets, go to tasteofgolf.com. Come on, somebody.
Thinning or balding hair? Introducing Scalp Micropigmentation now at IHRS. SMP is a procedure for men and women, looks like your own growing hair, and corrects thinning areas. SMP is perfect for men and women who shave their head and want a full head of hair look. Call IHRS now, 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com today.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
St. Johns County parents, does your kid have energy to burn? Want them to play a sport for their middle school? Sign up today for the St. John's Middle School Athletic Association. Spring pickleball, tackle football, dance, and cheerleading. Who doesn't want their kid to be the next NFL quarterback or dance floor diva? Hurry, time is running out. March is almost over. You know how fast your kid can go from playing Xbox to practicing their touchdown dance or sideline cheer? Sign up at sjmsaa.org. sjmsaa.org.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The annual NFL League meetings down in Palm Beach are currently underway, where coaches, front office staff, other executives, and owners come together with the media to discuss many factors of the league year ahead of the draft. Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen spoke to the media about the draft process in year one with James Gladstone, who's also in his first year, and how they're working together to approach the draft as prepared as possible.
It's so easy to talk to him. I mean, he breaks things down to such an elite level of simplicity for me because he's a lot smarter than I am. And so he's able to break down the draft, understand it as well as anybody I've heard have these conversations. We've got guys in buckets of where we're trying to look for him, and he's been able to map things out for me to be able to understand at a high level.
It's 84 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3. All right, we got eyes on Denny Thompson in the 1010XL studios, talking quarterbacks. Welcome in, Denny. How you doing, bud?
It's good to be back in, man.
Yeah, you've been working?
Been traveling a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
They keep me on the road.
All over the place, trying to drill down on everything. And honestly, this time of the year, it's not just one age range or professional versus college versus high school, is it?
Well, No. It's mostly right now. We're coming off of college spring breaks. NFL guys are starting to head back for, OTAs or whatever it is. So the month of April for us calms down a little bit. Let's just get to some high school stuff. But it has been a dead sprint since we started draft prep in January.
All right, so we're talking quarterbacks with Denny Thompson, 6'4", 110-10. If you guys want to hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We finished our 2 o'clock hour. Leon, Maddie, all of us talking about what Liam Cohen's saying about Trevor Lawrence. You heard it, especially that last quote when he said he's so mellow. And I'm going to tee you up because we were talking about it in the break. But at some point, these things need to merge. The new head coach and the guy going in his 5th year at the quarterback position and have it turn into greatness.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to. I'm sure it's going to merge. Whether or not it turns into greatness,
right?
Nobody knows that yet. But I mean, I think that's a fair description of Trevor, and I don't take that in a bad way at all. There's a lot of mellow guys that do really, really well in this league.
Yeah.
And the other thing about Trevor too is, Leon, you should speak to this, man, if you can. It's like, I don't know. You can't be the same dude off the field that you are on the field. Like, that takes too much energy, too much time. Like, what you are off the field can be a much different thing when you get on that field. And really, isn't that what we're talking about? I mean, do we care how he is in his home life? No. We only care about what he's doing on that field. And I don't think he's mellow on the field.
No, I mean, listen, I don't really attribute his behavior to – I mean, if Trevor was winning and mellow, like you said before you came here, no one would care. No one would care. I mean, but that's his demeanor. He's not a fiery guy that's going to get in your face and yell and spit and cuss and all that kind of stuff. He just kind of approaches the game like, okay, there's a process. I think people would like to see a little bit more fire in his belly when it comes to stuff. I just remember the Trevor from Clemson, the fiery. Clemson had a lot of good around him. They won a lot of games, and maybe losing his kind of mellowed them out a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the only way I could. That's the only way I could think about it.
But you were mellow off the field.
I was mellow.
To Denny's point, you were pretty fiery.
Yeah, I was fiery on the field.
Yeah. I mean, if football is literally everything in your world and you're intense on it all the time and you're playing on a losing team, then you're going to have a pretty lousy existence. I mean, you have to have an off season as a football player
and an off switch.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think what the fans want to see is that when they lose, they want players to carry that home with them. And you just can't function that way, especially if you got a wife and kids and all that kind of stuff. You can't function with every loss and bring it home. And I think Trevor's the type of person where, not to say he doesn't care that he loses, but he tries to keep the same demeanor on the field as he does off the field.
I do believe, kind of going back to the original part of our show, Denny, that they're trying to change, we use the word mindset in that building. And so creating hunger, creating success, creating mandates as far as you got to be better, that type of stuff, that will happen. You could still be chill and mellow, but you got to be better.
But before you create all of that, you have to create trust.
Yeah.
In that locker room. I mean, you have to create relationships. I can't go in and just demand all these things from you, especially as a rookie head coach. If I haven't taken the time and gotten to know you and have an idea of what the field or the team looks like and what the team feel is. I mean, that's just going in and yelling. But I think if he can go in there and create trust through OTAs and things like that, then they can start to get some things done. The NFL doesn't allow everybody to be you know what I mean? It just is what it is. And that's not going to get better. I mean, this may be the last year that they're even allowed to get together or required to get together at this time.
Yeah.
It's a tough job, man.
And the players signed off on that, by the way.
Yeah. Less practice, less adhering to being here at certain times of the year. The break between the bye week and when they come back. There's a lot of stuff. Less hit.
A lot of vacation time involved.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. All right, so I love it when Leon gets
it's the look on his face, though.
Yeah, because he'll definitely slam him. That's for sure. Soft. All right, so who's telling the truth here as we talk with the quarterback whisperer? The Browns' Jimmy Haslam, basically his quote was a big swing and miss on Watson. Or is Mike Tomlin telling the truth when he says we're comfortable with Rudolph as the starting quarterback? Someone ain't telling the truth there.
Huh. Wait. So you're saying that the Browns are saying it was a big swing?
It was a big swing and a miss.
Okay.
And
I think that's the truth.
That's the truth. When Mike Tomlin says we're comfortable with Rudolph as starting quarterback,
can't be the truth.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
Well, I mean, that sounds like somebody who's going to draft somebody, right?
Exactly.
Like if we can draft somebody, but we don't want to go ahead and put the pressure on with all of our fans right this second that guy is going to be our guy. We feel like we got a serviceable backup. So I think there's probably some truth to both of those.
Yeah.
Didn't Mason Rudolph take him to the promised land? Took him to the playoffs, didn't he? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You're not going to ride with him.
I thought down the stretch he took him to the playoffs. That's my remembrance of Mason Rudolph.
He definitely has a decision to make. They were asking about Aaron Rodgers, of course. That's what they want to know more than anything else. But getting back to the Trevor talk, and like you said, a rookie head coach has got to prove that he can get the job, that he can gain the trust. And I think that's a great point. And Liam has to do that through Trevor to the rest of the team, or how do you see that working?
No, I think it's just you create that locker room feel that is you got a blank slate. Let's start there. You've got a blank slate because you have a whole new staff coming in. You've made a lot of roster moves, right? You got a ton of cap room. So, like, what you do with this blank slate is largely going to dictate the success of the Jaguars moving forward for the next 3, 4, 5 years. That's just the reality of it. So, I mean, however they want to use this blank slate, but inside of that, it's like, what are you preaching and teaching and influencing in that locker room? And is that healthy and is it sustainable? And does it motivate, right? I mean, these guys want to win as badly as we want them to win, but they also got to know that leader over there is capable of doing that for them, right? And so I think that's where this offseason has to go if you're Liam, because he's a football guy. When they get in that room, they're going to see this guy knows what he's talking about.
I don't disagree with that.
What's his presence in the room? That's the thing when you start to watch Hard Knocks and you start to realize, Leon, is those head coaches, their presence in that team meeting room is a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very big deal, especially when you're dealing with a new coach. But this team's psyche has got to be built up. Their mental, they've got to be because.
I want to kick their ass. Are we talking about feelings again?
No. Their psyche.
Because it sounds like you're talking about feelings.
No, I'm not talking about feelings. I'm talking about the fact that if this team has early success with Liam Cohen, of course they bought in. All right, but there's going to be a point in time during the season where they're going to struggle. Now, this team historically, when they struggle and face adversity, they collapse. Yeah. They absolutely collapse. Do they have the aptitude to deal with the struggle and come back from it and keep on winning again? That's my whole thing with this team.
See, this is where the rubber hits the road for me. I understand what you're saying, that there has to be a trust there, but for me, that trust has got to start with the coach in the player and the way he prepares and the way he invests and what he wants to do and how he wants to go about the ways he's preparing to play. That's how the coach trusts you, which then in turn allows him to trust, what I mean?
Yeah, the trust goes both ways.
Right. To me, it's like more, look, I know you're here, but we're running things differently now. This is how we're running it. I respect what you do and who you are, but Matt, you're going to get my trust if you prepare yourself the right way.
But what I'm saying is he hasn't even had that opportunity.
Right. No,
right.
I
mean, those things, I'm talking specifically to that interview that we were discussing about, Mello. There's nothing to be not mellow about. I mean, what do y'all want? Trevor coming up, hopped up on something? Like,
I don't want him to be able to sleep the whole offseason about how bad he's been. Are you serious?
Actually,
under his
eyes.
I
just want no turnovers. How about that?
Yeah.
Or a limited amount of turnovers.
But going to what Denny's saying, and they move the offseason clock up. They give him a little bit of a head start as a first-year head coach. But the difference, even though Matt worked the feelings in there, that's what Doug Peterson said, that they needed to heal.
The exact thing he said.
They needed to heal. But Doug came in with credentials, with that piece of hardware that he had accomplished up in Philadelphia. And so there probably was some instant respect level, instant recognition of what he had done. Whereas Liam, I do agree with what you're saying. They kind of got to see his model work for them to kind of buy in.
Yeah, I mean, he has nothing to point to. He's been an OC. He's done well on that side. But as a head coach, like, these guys are looking to see, what is this guy like? Yeah. They don't know. They have no idea. There's nothing to tell them that. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's important, while I agree with you, Matt, that the players are the ones that have to ultimately put the work in. I think leading into these, it's important that entire staff is on the same page. It makes sense, and that it proves to these players that, yes, you can trust our game planning. You can trust our football ability. You can trust our training.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
All that kind of stuff.
That's what I meant. Because at the end of the day, you're a 4-13 team. Yeah. And it's your fault you're a 4-13 team. Now, I'm going to give you the tools to be a better team. Do you want to invest?
Yeah.
Do you want to prepare?
Yeah, I think whenever we always going to get back to the same thing. Both of them got to work collectively.
Well, my problem with Doug is I think Doug he was very veteran friendly, savvy. Okay, he would give guys the leverage. He would give them. He said, "Listen, I trust these guys to go out and be professionals and do it." And then they failed them on many occasions. Remember when we was at the presser that one time? He said we had a great week of practice. He said, "I don't understand why we played so badly." Really, Doug? You don't understand why
he said that for 6 weeks in a row.
They all say that.
My
We
goodness.
practice so well.
Oh,
I
we
don't
practice
get
so well. I don't understand it. Come on now.
I love the coaches that say we had a terrible Tuesday practice and I could see this coming. But that's what I love to hear.
Players even said it too.
But I mean, we make fun of like when Kirby says it, when Norvell says it, when people say. I think Florida says it a lot. The standard is the standard, right? And that's really that's the reason why I said so much is Liam's job is to set a whole new standard because right now there is no standard in Jacksonville.
No.
We can have a number one pick back-to-back years, and that's okay. But no, there has to be a standard that he is largely responsible for I guess, starting that.
Yes.
Or deciding where that standard is and what he is going to allow and what he's not going to allow. It'll be interesting, man. That's the reason why they give these new coaches extra time, too.
Which is crazy. I mean, because the most outstanding player on the team right now is a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
That lets you know where this team is at right now.
Right.
By a long way, by the way.
Yes.
They're looking for star power. And BCJ, Brian Thomas Jr. represents a hell of a lot of it. And Trevor will again if he can rally and clean the mistakes up. But we're talking about it's not a technical center anymore, but there are first-timers, a lot of first-timers that are walking into that building collectively. First-time DC, first-time OC, first-time head coach, first-time GM. It has the feel of a technical center, but I do like the collaboration that they're trying to come together.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is much different than what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
I like it as well. And these guys are all experienced enough to where people know they know ball, and they've coached enough people who know enough people that everybody's got an idea of what they're getting into ball-wise. But yeah, man, let's see what this locker room looks like.
Yeah.
Let's see what the team meeting room feels like. That's what you're about to establish.
Quarterback Whisperer hanging out with us, Mokama Beer Company Monday. One more seg with him, 641-1010 if you want to hit the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. To jump in the YouTube chat, we do need to work a little college ball in. A compliment was paid to a team in South Florida that it shocked me. It
shouldn't.
So we will bring it up coming up here in just a second on XL Primetime.
I heard a story about you. I was wondering if it's true.
Everything you've heard about me is true.
He's not afraid to tell the truth. Rick Ballou as the truth teller. Evenings on 1010XL.
I'd give anything to be friends with him.
Jags fans, here's your chance to score a trip to Green Bay for round one of draft night. Through the Everbank Draft Night Experience Sweepstakes, one lucky winner and a guest will be there live and in person to see the Jaguars make their first pick. To enter, visit everbank.com/draft by April 4th. That's everbank.com/draft. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 3/3/25 to 4/4/25. For official rules, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/draft. Sponsored and administrator, Everbank N.A.
When it's time for new tires, you can count on Big Chief Tire for quality and value. Frank Franchi here. Their expert team will help you quickly find the right fit, ensuring a safe, comfortable ride. With quality options, fair prices, and quick installation, you'll be back on the road in no time. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today to schedule your appointment and roll into 2025 with great confidence. Big Chief Tire keeps Jack rolling.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
If you're heading to the Og or you're already part of the nation's oldest, don't forget to drop into Sunset Grill. For over 30 years, serving up great chowder, seafood, wings, and cold beer. Sunset Grill, somewhere on A1A, St. Augustine Beach.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, often no appraisals. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. Get the money you need for anything at 904-999-1508 or just go to LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bucks out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Walls. The Nimnicht Outdoor Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey man, what's that noise?
Do you hear it too? You can hear it, right?
Yeah, it's your air conditioner. It's like a grinding or a rattling.
And it's getting on your nerves, right? Like it's eating at your brain and you can't think straight? But it just keeps grinding and squeaking and taunting and nagging. You're not good enough. You're a failure. Why can't you be more like your sister, the lawyer?
Yeah, I don't hear that last part so much.
Yeah, but it's not cool, right, Jason?
It could definitely be cooler. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can totally repair whatever that noise is and get your AC working smoothly and silently. We fix these things all the time.
So I won't be a failure?
Life should be enjoyed. If some irritating, broken air conditioner is making you crazy, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging? Spring is here, a time to renew. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist here to help you look and feel your best with minimal to no downtime. Rejuvenate your skin, strengthen your core, and sculpt your body with advanced face and body treatments designed to restore your youthful glow and confidence, just in time for spring and summer. A healthier, more fit you starts now. Visit Dermagnify.com and step into spring looking and feeling your best.
Your tax refund is here. Why not invest in your home? Superior Fence and Rail helps you build value with beautiful, durable fences that boost your home security, privacy, and curb appeal. With expert installation and financing options, turning your yard into an outdoor oasis is easier than ever. Reinvest in your home today with Superior Fence and Rail.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
I've had some good conversations with Trey. Like, sounds like we've had a number of hour-long conversations where, man, I feel a guy that wants to go be great. That wants to continue to take the next step and dominate. I could feel that from him. Sounds like a guy that just wants to work, does things the right way. So I'm excited about working with him, man. He's really been pleasant to talk to.
Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
Mokama Beer Company Monday. It is XL Primetime. One more seg with the quarterback whisperer, Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, along with Denny Thompson. JJ just fired off that clip from the owners' meetings down in Palm Beach. And Liam Cohen, your head coach, had comments about 2 number 1 overall picks for this football team. One was Trevor. The other one was right there about Trayvon Walker. Hour-long conversations about how much he wants to be great And you got to love it when you hear it.
Sound a little more hepped up for one than the other, though.
It's interesting.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Who will have a better year?
He probably heard from his agent, Trayvon's agent. Hey,
It takes an hour for somebody to tell you they want to be great.
What are you talking about? The quarterback whisperer responds. But
hey, he keeps giving 10.5 sacks. That's going to be in a good pick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Aiden Hutchinson, but it'll be a good pick.
Yeah, I do believe that there's hunger in the belly of a Trayvon Walker. And scheme-wise, you want to talk about messing some people up last year? The cheap trick DC, Rick Nielsen, he didn't do anybody any favors last year.
No, he didn't. He didn't. There's no doubt he didn't. But that'll be a good pick. Yeah. He keeps doing what he's doing. That'll be a good pick.
All right, so we got the quarterback whisper for one more seg. I'd mentioned that there was something said about a team down in South Florida that it just kind of shocked me just a little bit. I have to admit it. Brian Baldinger, who is he is as football smart as they come. Would anybody argue with that? The Baldy breakdown is mint, and he will take his time and he'll go through all kinds of stuff. Anyway, he puts out on social that he went down and watched a practice with Mario Cristobal and the Miami Hurricanes, and he goes, I went to Mario's Cristobal's practice on Tuesday. Most impressive practice I have seen at any level in years. I believe in Mario. I believe in the Canes.
Damn right.
That's what we do down south, baby. We work, baby.
And that's without Carson throwing.
Big works down
Imagine
there.
that.
You know they're probably live tackling like a lot of teams probably.
Let me just say this right now. If you're not watching on YouTube, the look on Denny's face right now is priceless.
What did you think of that?
No, that is high praise now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a guy that's been to thousands of practices, and he just said that is the
At
best
any level.
practice at any level
in
he's
years
ever seen.
In years. And I grabbed Baldy last year at training camp. We had him on the air, and that was after him watching the Jacks practice. But did
he say that was the best practice?
No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did. But that was high praise from him.
I mean, I have been at Miami practices.
And you have seen practice.
Yeah, I mean, it's they fly around. They're very organized. It's. I don't know. I don't go to other practices, and I'm really not there to watch the practice.
But you have seen other.
You've seen like Georgia practice.
Yeah,
you know how
listen,
Georgia
all
practice.
These guys are so like all these successful programs. These practices, they get the most out of that 2 hours.
Well, the point is Miami's not successful.
Right.
That's why Joe's surprised.
They haven't won anything.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
They were not that far away from
We
the
look
CFP.
good.
I mean, they did win 41-17.
We looked good in August last year.
August through up until the very end, like always.
I'm just saying, that's all.
Yeah, and it's so funny because and we have such a good back and forth. But if you go back to Mark Richt towards the end, that was an undefeated team, 7-0, top 5 in the country, something like that.
We were 10-0.
10-0 after number 2 in Notre Dame. Yeah.
10-0, number 2 in the country, and we lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, and then I'm just saying,
last year you lost 3 or 4. Right?
Crush me.
Yeah,
cut me to the white meat.
It's kind of like to JJ's point. Great, and then
we fell off.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's bad.
I'm still on the high praise. Like the best practice I have seen. It's
crazy.
That's
that means we're going to be scary good this year. That's what it means. Just prepare.
I will say the vibe down there, and I hate that word, but it's really. I mean, it's good. It's good. They're confident.
Yeah.
There's definitely a swagger down there for sure.
Yeah. They've got the support financially. The NIL's working. They got a guy who's coming back. Just tell us real quick.
Wait till Billy Napier and the boys roll in there, okay?
Oh, yeah. They'll learn a little something.
That'll end quickly.
But the UCL repair for Carson and everything's looking good?
Yeah, everything's looking good.
Yeah. And what is he able to do right now?
I mean, still strengthening. You know, still in that phase. There's not. I wouldn't say there's a hurry, and I don't want to get too much into it.
Right. I was just curious.
Yeah, medically. But no, everything's good. Everything's right on track.
So he will start throwing by June or July?
I'd be before then. Okay. Yeah, it would definitely be before then. I mean, they've got, I think, 2 more weeks of spring down there, and he's locked in with that, learning the playbook. He's out at every practice. Watching film, all that kind of stuff. And then, I think probably just the way it works out is once they get done with spring is when the physical part of Carson's year will start. Trust me, he's ready.
Right.
Like, I mean, every time I see him, he's like, I just want to throw. I just want to throw. Just want to throw. Just hold on. Just patience. He's fired up. He's in a good spot right now, and he's excited about being in Miami.
Yeah.
There's been a lot happened since he's been in Miami, but
better believe it.
But right now he is he's ready.
You heard? All right, your other guy.
He's had an eventful year, man.
Yeah,
It's been
he
crazy.
has.
Well, one day in Miami is like 4 days in Athens.
There's a lot goes on in a 24-hour cycle in the 305.
Like dog years.
Yeah. Compared to Athens. Anthony Richardson has been told that he's going to have to compete. They've got Daniel Jones brought into Indy as a free agent. It is kind of interesting, Denny, that both of these guys have a skill set. They can move, they can run, but now they got to compete. What is the conversation there?
There's not. The great thing for Anthony is when you're Anthony Richardson, the only person you're ever competing with is yourself. It doesn't matter who comes in. If you can just figure this thing out and be as good as we all think you're going to be, then it's irrelevant. You don't have to compete with anybody. You just have to continue to build and get better and learn the game and take more snaps and get more reps and stay healthy. All those things. You do that, and it doesn't matter. That's the nice thing. Very few people have that skill set.
Right.
To where it's like it doesn't matter. They don't need help from anywhere. They just need to focus on themselves, and I think that's where Anthony is. And he's having a great offseason.
Yeah. Shane Steichen's got to, at the very least, he's got to try and press those buttons wherever he can.
For sure. For sure. I mean, that's his job. His job is to get the best out of every player, including AR.
Yeah.
So however you feel like you got to do that, man, push those buttons. Let's see, because the kid can be special.
But you think he's in the right system? You think that system works for him?
Yeah. I don't think needs to be a system quarterback. I think he can do, a lot of things. He's super smart about the game too. So I think he can manage just about any system. So I think it's just a matter of him getting his feet under him and taking enough snaps and realizing that, okay, this is how this thing works. This is the timing of it. This is when I take a shot. This is when I check down. Just learning the game, and I don't want to use the lack of starts as a crutch because I hate that actually.
Right.
But it is a stat.
What is it? 13 he missed?
Well, I mean, going into last year, he had only started like 17 games ever. High school, college, pro.
Right.
13 in college.
I mean, in the NFL. How many has he missed in the NFL?
Yeah, I don't know. I
think it's like 13 or something. But like those are. Let's just say it's 13. I mean, you got to be kidding me. That's 52 quarters right there, man.
In 2 years. Yeah. No, you can tell he's locked in.
Exponentially, you learn from those quarters, right? And those possessions and those plays.
When you're talking about a guy who is he? I mean, he's not even 23. He's 22. I think I saw a stat the other day that outside of Drake May, he will be the youngest starting quarterback again. Like he was the youngest his rookie year, the youngest this past year, and outside of Drake and May, he will be at that again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got to find.
That's absolutely crazy,
isn't it?
Oh, hang on, I got it somewhere here. There was one kid. Oh, here, I think it's Shook from Louisville. He came in the same draft class as Trevor. Trevor is on his second contract, going into his 5th year, and Tyler Shook.
The same recruiting class.
Same recruiting class. Yeah. Same recruiting class as Trevor.
Is he must be a 6-year senior then, super senior?
Yeah.
Well, Carson and Anthony were in the same recruiting class.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony's going into year 3.
Yeah, that's another good example because it blew my mind when I heard whoa. And I know there have been some.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was Diego, but it wasn't him. It was Shook.
I think C.J. Stroud was in that recruiting class. So yeah, man, it's this NCAA stuff is you can have a 24, 25-year-old there now.
Right. The super senior and Pavia is only JJ. You looked him up 23.
He's turns 24 in a month.
Okay.
So next year he'll be 24.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Auburn starting 5.
Yeah.
And there's like a 25-year-old, a 23-year-old, 22. It's like no one's under 22 years old on our Auburn starting 5.
Yeah. That is nuts too.
I mean, Janai Broom looks like he's 40, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he
does.
He doesn't look
clearly does, right?
He does not look Greg Odom old. Okay,
he's never close, bro.
Yeah, but Odom, honestly, he looked like Grandpa.
Wasn't there a time we were griping about the one and dones though?
Yeah, I actually love the NIL part of this.
Yeah,
even though there's pluses and minuses to everything. It killed Cinderella. We know that. And it's crazy that Cinderella was able to do what they were able to do storylines-wise for so many years because they did have decent talent that was just spread all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is going to have the football effect in a lot of ways. And both Denny and Matt, or all three of you guys can chime in on this because even though someone's going to win a national championship in the Final Four that has never done it, okay, that's number one. Duke has pedigree, but this is the first opportunity for Shire to see if he can do it. Todd Golden can do it at a place where other national championships have been won. But then you go to Kelvin Sampson, as good as he's been for as long as he's been, and then Bruce Pearl, as good as he's been as long as he's been. He's not one. But the NIL had a massive impact on this.
Yeah, I'm assuming basketball is the same way as football. We talked about the depth from the NIL, but it's not just like player depth. It's even, let's take Georgia. Let's keep this in football because that's what I know about. When Georgia loses guys and they go somewhere else and start, they're also losing that fire in practice of having literally an all-SEC guy going against a backup all-SEC guy, right? So not only did they lose a guy to whoever, and I'm assuming this is in basketball too, but you're not preparing as well because you don't have that guy on the other side,
right?
And it's kind of it snowballs a little bit on you. I can imagine in basketball that's even worse because there's less of them.
Yeah,
I mean, if Walter Clayton was still at Iona would probably be a Sweet 16 team. They'd probably be one of those teams
good,
that
but not
make a run.
Right.
Get 2 upsets in the tournament. And,
Elijah is not there. Same type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say a lot of these smaller schools, if you reference them to basketball, and a coach was talking about this a couple of days ago, it's like the smaller schools are now JUCOs, all right? Because most of those kids aren't being recruited by the big dogs. They come to the smaller schools. They get developed for 2 years.
Right.
And then they go somewhere else.
Right.
And they play for a big school on a bigger stage.
I heard another
I meant like if Walter Clayton was still at Iona would be a Sweet 16.
Be a Sweet 16.
Yeah,
but
that's what I meant by that.
Then I added Elijah Martin to him, and then all of a sudden they become Final Four.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss the Cinderella, but I also think this is highly entertaining.
This is
good
very
basketball,
good.
yeah.
Okay, but the other part of it, this is what I was asking Leon, is that the other part of this is that, like, we went into the NIL world in football, and we thought that it would move more teams into consideration. And in some ways it did. But it still came back down to Ohio State paying a ton of money, maybe Georgia paying a ton of money, the Texas is paying a ton of money, and the bigs were the bigs once again. At least in basketball, someone's going to win a title for the first time. That part's good.
I would challenge
a coach
that
is going to win a title for the first, but not Florida, Duke, and come on.
But Auburn's not a blue blood.
But I would challenge that on the football side because SMU.
Yeah,
I mean SMU has one of the largest collectives on the planet and was able to compete, went to the playoff.
Indiana competed.
Yeah, you look at the Indiana, you look at the way like
roster.
Houston is playing the long game now, and even Memphis and these mid-major guys. Like, it's a pretty good investment. If I go out and I spend $15 million on a roster, $18, $20, $25 million on a roster, and we get a chance to be that team that makes playoff, man, that how much does that investment pay?
Well, the big story is college basketball. When you got a team like Villanova that can spend $9 or $10 million on their roster, right?
Yeah.
Or a team like anybody in the Big East that can spend that kind of money, St. John's.
Yeah.
They don't spend it on football.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like the Power 4 schools are spending 75% of their budget, their salary pool, on football.
Yeah.
And they're left with $3 to $4 million for basketball. So they're now competing with the Big Easts of the world, the Creightons of the world that can spend $5, $6, $7, $8 million.
They're left with $3 to $4 million officially.
Right, correct.
They have access to as much as they want.
It's not, Right, I want to make very clear. That's not including NIL.
Right.
Not including private NIL.
I heard one kid's going to go back to UCLA, and it'll be $3 million in NIL.
Yeah.
It might be $3 million in the other world, but I thought it was.
I mean, that could be a total number.
Yeah.
And you could take some off of that profit share and take some off of an NIL deal or boosters or something like that, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Good stuff, Denny. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you, guys.
At Denny_Thompson, our quarterback whisperer. We keep it rolling until 4 o'clock, and that's when the Frangie Show shows up.
Tensions build.
3rd and 12. Let's go.
Plot thickens.
We got to get off the field.
Crowds roar. Tune in and let the show begin. Your home for live play-by-play is 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. You're a quarter of the way into the annual race to a better you, but now is not the time to let up. All those weight loss goals you set to begin the year are still attainable with Awaken 180 weight loss. Look, we all want to look better, and if you're ready to get serious about looking better and being the best you, it's time to get serious about Awaken 180 weight loss. It's time to get serious about losing weight the right way and getting into the best shape of your life safely. No guesswork, no trial and error, no medication side effects. I'm proof I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 110. Blue's on his way, and you can lose whatever you want. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will allow you to get there quickly and safely. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. Reach your goals with Awaken 180 weight loss and become a new you. There's still time to make the 2025 you your year of change. Choose the simple, clear path to success with the solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Florida homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Universal Roof and Contracting protects your home and your wallet. Invest in a stronger roof and save big. Spend $6,000 and get up to $600 off. $15,000 up to $2,000 off. $20,000 up to $3,000 off. This deal ends March 31st. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On March 31st, 1961, Boston Bruins defenseman Bobby Orr scores his third career hat trick, becoming the first player in NHL history to score 100 points for 4 straight seasons.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Youth sports at the YMCA's focus on teamwork, discipline, and building confidence. Our experienced coaches can create a positive and supportive environment where your kids can grow, stay active, and develop a love for sports. Sports like basketball, volleyball, swimming, gymnastics, and even elite skills training. Join the fun and register. Give your kids the chance to be a part of something special. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you have told us about buying better quality diamonds, but is there any way to start with a smaller diamond and use it to trade up to a larger diamond later on?
Frank, it's interesting you'd ask that because our founder, H.F. Underwood, popularized growing your diamond here in Jacksonville about 50 years ago, and it's something we still do today. When a customer buys an Underwood engagement ring or solitaire diamond pendant or a pair of ear studs, we guarantee they get the price they paid for it on the purchase of any larger diamond. Now, a lot of stores would say, big deal. We do that too, but here's the Underwood difference. We guarantee you get what you paid when you trade in your Underwood diamond, even if you're trading up by only $1. It's not that you have to trade up 2 for 1 like most jewelers ask. There have been literally thousands of people in the Jacksonville area who have taken advantage of our policy, and Underwood still grows a lot of diamonds for a lot of people.
Underwood's serving excellence since 1928 in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, well, my takeaway is that I'm sure Jaguar fans didn't want to hear the conversation between Liam Cole and Trevor Lawrence that he was mellow. Probably the last thing they wanted to hear, especially coming off a 4-13 season. But I don't care. But listen, Trevor's demeanor really doesn't matter if he's winning football games.
Yep.
All right? This coaching staff can steer Trevor and this team in the right direction, create a culture of winning, be consistently winning. He could be mellow all he wants to. As long as we're going to make it. If we're making playoff games and we're winning games, listen, I don't care about anything about your demeanor. As long as we're winning football games. That's all that matters to me.
All right, my takeaway is the owners' meetings, the coaches' meetings, when they kick in, it kind of has it's Masters time feeling to it, and it's almost like you're taking the first turn around the quarter. You know what I mean?
Are you telling me
moving into
we're almost to amen corner?
You're moving into the
You're
greatest.
talking dirty to me, and I kind of like it.
Thank you, Hacker. You're moving into literally, which I hate to say this, but it might be the best event in the sports calendar, actually.
Oh yeah.
Well, the azaleas are in full bloom.
So are the cherry blossoms. Same thing, man.
Yeah. Let me just tell you, it's the best non-sporting event in the history of the world, the draft, and then April has Augusta and the
right,
draft.
but my point is, so I guess it was you get Augusta, you get draft, you get.
You can even have the beginning of
the voluntary, involuntaries. You get the mini camps, and the next thing you know, man.
But also, don't
just
forget,
enjoy it, y'all. Don't run through these next 4 months like it's nothing because they're great.
You never should. And don't forget the national champion will be crowned in April as well. April,
all the Final Four.
Yeah, yeah.
Today's the last day
you're
of
right.
March.
Because tomorrow's April Fool's Day. Yeah, all of the Final Four. But I guess I'm just thinking championship. But still, yeah, that all counts. The April versus October, those are two really killer sports calendar months.
The calendar really starts to kick in when April hits.
Yeah.
Because the NBA playoffs start, the NHL playoffs start. You start to really, find a groove at that point.
Yeah. Nothing bad about this time of the year, too.
No, nothing bad at all.
Are we going to run it back for the Masters?
The way he
are.
played yesterday. Look, last year, it's very rare that you have someone that can win a Players and a Green Jacket in the same year. Scotty did.
Oh, I thought Leon was asking if we were going to do our game again.
Oh, we're definitely doing that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking if Scotty was going to run it back.
That, JJ. That's happening.
Well,
Scotty played well this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you ping the PGA Tour leaderboard right now, congratulations to Min-Woo Lee. He had a tough play over the back of the green. That's an Aussie that me and JJ root for. That dude is uber talented.
Any Asian guy, I love him.
Asian guy JJ loves.
And he played well for like 2 or 3 days here a couple weeks ago, and then completely fell off.
Yeah, he fell off.
But he's a great player. His sister's a phenomenal player on the women's tour. Has won like majors.
And he looks more Asian, but he's Australian.
Well, ethnically wise, he's obviously his name is Min-Woo Lee.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I forget the other guy, the guy that lives here, Carl Phillips, born in Indonesia, but represents Australia. And so, but yeah, Min-Woo was on the back of 18, and Scotty was already in. Scotty shot him either 62 or 63 yesterday.
Right.
Good round.
Wow. Great
coming
round.
to the house.
Great round.
And he was putting a great deal of pressure on Min-Woo, who hit it second shot into the par 5. Anyway, he ended up making bogey there, and so it got down to one shot. And he knocks it over the back of 18, and he elects to putt. And I'm like, whoa, this is going to be tough. 2 inches. 2 inches.
And I liked that
and
when he had a
No
tap
stress.
in, he like stood over it to like test the line of the ball. Like he was still going through all his crap that he would do for like a tap in.
Yeah, it was definitely a good win for him. That's for sure. And as we have often said, outs get you to the house as a minor league umpire. If you avoid the playoff, that means you finish on time.
Right.
And so that was beautiful.
You got home.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful for Min-Woo Lee.
Plus the sun's staying out later. Now it kind of sets now around 8. Soon it'll set like 8:30 and 8:40. This is the best time of the year.
Yeah,
man.
it is a great time of the year. The weather's perfect.
Baseball, your team's 0-4.
I don't know about that, but that's
great.
Yeah. Baseball, yes, that counts too.
What? By the way, what? JJ, Aaron Judge and the Yankees.
Apparently they're cheating again.
Are they going to check the bats?
I don't. So
these are turtle bats.
They're
or something.
turbo bats. So I guess they took an MIT expert to like move the. Which I'm holding off any judgment on this because it's been 3 or 4 games and they played the Brewers. Like let's relax a little bit, but They moved the barrel of the bat, I guess, a little bit, and that's caused the Yankees, allegedly, to hit like thousands of homers. On Saturday, they hit, for the first time in the history of Major League Baseball, which we're going back like 150 years, folks, the first 3 pitches of the game were 3 home runs by the Yankees.
Nuts.
Crazy. 4 homers in the first inning, 9 in one game. They're just killing it right now, and everyone's blaming the new turbo bat.
Yeah, so it could come back to the pack a little bit, like you're saying.
Is it called turbo, or they're making a joke that it's
I don't know, but everybody's like, all the teams now are got their own order in. I know the Braves, who haven't scored in 2.5 games, desperately need the turbo bats, but they have an order in.
And and Aaron Judge is not using it, even though
he's not.
No, that's what they said.
Know that. Okay.
Yeah, that he was.
Well, he's been getting juiced balls anyways for years now. Everyone knows that.
They've been marked.
Yeah,
perfectly.
All balls used in Yankee stadiums they found were like a little more juiced than everything
Shocking.
else.
Besides moving the porch up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they only have 15 home runs right now.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Dodgers have 12.
They played
the
2
way-
more games though.
And the Orioles have 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
we started. We're the only team ever in the history of the world that has made it to opening day 2-0. Okay,
Yeah.
So that's a record that will never.
Now
be
that's
broken
cheating.
until next year. But
How about the Dodgers pitcher crying? Yeah. So they paid like $100 million plus for this new Japanese guy.
He cried?
And he's very young, yes, and he had 2 really bad starts to start the year. And they show him in the dugout crying. I'm like, this is the big leagues, bro.
Are you crying?
There's no crying in baseball.
How old is he?
23.
Yeah, I
think I'll
think
get
there's no crying in 23 is actually what it is, man. Right?
I'm 35. I cry if there's a good commercial.
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Come on.
Yeah, we get very emotional.
on.
Yeah.
We're saps. I'll admit it.
Matt cries.
But Mookie, I almost cried
All
when
Matt does is cry on this show every day.
Man, you show him a dog commercial, you start.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
there,
my
there,
God.
there.
Absolutely will,
There you
yeah.
go, right there.
I almost cried when Mookie went yard, though, because he had lost like 20 pounds of
but he looks
bacteria or something
great.
was eating at him. And he was able to come back from that. He rallied.
A flesh-eating bacteria?
I don't know. I made that part up, but it was it was just a flu.
I may have made that part.
Yeah, a flu and a virus and everything else, and he couldn't kick it.
Stay safe out there. Wear a mask.
Yeah, and so he lost 18, 20 pounds. They were starting to call it a Mookie virus. They were scared, but he's come back stronger than ever, kind of like this guy.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
Coolest cats in town.
I do love that the text line has been flooded with the corrections, which we appreciate from all of our prime timers. Torpedo bats. Okay, let's get that right.
Oh, not turbo. Sorry.
Torpedo.
Come on,
bats.
JJ. You're the baseball expert on this
Yeah.
show.
Let's get
Come on.
this
It's
right.
very new to me, too.
Yeah, and then I saw the embedded and shredded torpedo his way in here as he's getting ready for the
we're
Carline show.
Yeah. It's still the Frangie show.
Yeah.
But Frank's on vacation, and so Hacker's kind of enough to join me, so we'll have a lot of fun. I was thinking about this because I'm not a baseball guy either, but doesn't it make some sense that we were due for like an evolution of the baseball bat? It feels like it's been basically the same thing my entire life. Doesn't it like kind of make sense that they've stumbled upon something, particularly with changing like the launch angle of the swing and stuff that, I'm not really, I don't know if it'll hold.
Right.
But I'm not like really surprised. It almost looks like this was a sporting apparatus that no one looked at for 50 years. And then somebody was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to do some testing on this.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they took some dude from MIT. But remember before they had the trampoline effect because they were trying to create some launch off of the wooden bat. And we all know everything that's gone on with either the juice ball, the seams. Remember all the stuff that you had to do.
Yeah.
Raise the mount, lower the mount. Everything's been done. You might be right that they finally said, well, you know what? What is – oh, this is a bat. Let's take a look at this. Let's see what we can do with this.
Let's reimagine this part of the equation here. And, it'll be interesting to see. We will not be talking about that coming up on the Frangie Show. We will be talking about all things Gators hoops. Was it the greatest comeback in school history? Like, forget program history. I don't know that it's not the greatest comeback in University of Florida sports history. So we'll certainly break all that down. Walter Clayton Jr., Thomas Houck, those brilliant decision by Todd Golden to go ahead and use the 1-and-1 and tell Houck to foul. So just a lot of things that went into that. We'll look forward to breaking that down, previewing the Auburn matchup on Saturday, and tons of Jaguars. Obviously, Liam Cohen talked at the owners' meetings down south today, so we'll, like you guys have, we'll get into those comments as well. So a lot of Gator hoops, a lot of Jaguars coming up on the Frangie Show, and we're hoping to have John Osher join us at 5 o'clock to get his thoughts. John's down there, obviously, with the team. I think he's meeting with James Gladstone at 3:45, so we're hoping to have John at 5 o'clock. So if he runs late, then maybe we'll have to move it back. But we're hoping for 5 o'clock, John Osher.
That'll be good. And he'll probably be having his first shrimp cocktail right about that time. That's what he does when he's in South Florida.
Is that right?
He's a big shrimp cocktail.
Gets them everywhere. Indianapolis, down south, wherever. Shrimp cocktails. Good stuff. Thank you, guys.
All right. Hayes Carline, Hack coming in and joining him as Frank is on vacation. We are done. Thanks to Mocama Beer Company. Look for them up there in beautiful Fernandina, South 8th Street. That's the original location in the big tap room, and then also the Wildlight location. You can look at Total and ABC. In their craft department, you'll find some great Mocama. Check it out, mocama.com. Big Leon Searcy, Matty Hayes, Josie, and JJ. You got Hayes and Hat coming up next.
Everyone wants to doubt Jacksonville. Never doubt Jacksonville.